My name is host Derek. Mr. Strauss, if you're nasty. For those of you who maybe don't get the reference, it refers to a Janet Jackson song, or perhaps an album. A song in which, or an album in which, she indicates that, well, her name may be Janet. She's Miss Jackson if you're nasty. Am I nasty? No, I always call her Janet. I don't believe in calling her Miss Jackson. Yeah, interesting title, huh? I just thought about it in bed last night for some reason. I was like, that'd be a good title. So, I don't anticipate I'll be streaming for an especially long time. I'll probably go back to bed here relatively soon. I got up at 6 o'clock here this morning and discovered that it had been snowing all night. We got a lot of snow out there. We got a hearty pile of snow outside, which I will take us to go look at in a little while. I'm not saying I'm nasty. I'm saying if you're nasty, you might call me Mr. Strauss. Here's the title of a Janet Jackson album. So I got a real good night's sleep last night. A solid 10 hours, you might say. Went to sleep around a little before 8 o'clock. And I wish I had to get up to pee a couple times during the night, but besides that, I slept straight through, which is gratifying, It's important to get enough sleep, for sure. You might say it's, I don't know, I mean, all your SI shit's important. Eating enough, drinking enough, sleeping enough, whatever. But it seems like sleep is the one that people are most likely to get too little of. Thanks, Show Media. Good morning to you, too. It should be noted that Mr. Eric is not if you're nasty. That's just Mr. Strauss is if you're nasty. Elaine, good morning. I see you are not nasty. It's good to know. I'm sure Janet Jackson and or Justin Timberlake would call me Mr. Strauss because they're both nasty. Good morning, Kajaden Kajaden Mart Popcorn. Happy Face Fish. Hourglass Clock. Sleepy Cat Flower. Sounds good. All those things sound wonderful. Right, Elaine's not nasty. She's elegant and delicate. I was thinking last night how silly it is for Rachel to be all like, "Oh, I'm not rail thin enough," or whatever. She's super sexy. How much snow do we get? I mean, like over a foot for sure. I'll take you outside and see it in a minute here. I mean, we got a lot of snow. I didn't even think about maybe it kept snowing all night or whatever because it stopped by the time I went to bed last night. And then I let the cats out this morning. They came back in. They both had snow on them. I'm like, is it snowing right now? It was. Goth says, oh yeah, this dude is definitely a racist sex offender. Wow, Goth. You know what you could do? You could ask a few questions before wantonly, wildly, and irresponsibly jumping to conclusions. definitely not a sex offender and definitely not racist. Real Madrid, all right-thinking people agree that Israel should afford the Palestinians an independent state without any terms or stipulations. But it is also the case that I've explained this many, many times, so I'm not particularly inclined to go over it again. You must be on Top Chat, show media. No, it's not deleted. What's my morning hair routine? This is get up, go like this. I'm done. It's that straightforward. So, I'm hoping, good morning, Nevadan driver. Maroon is cool. And Elaine's FI asks not to talk about war yet again. Yeah, I don't want to talk about war either. It's a boring topic. It's easy enough for me to articulate exactly what the correct position on it is, and so at that point, there's nothing further to say about it. When was the last time I shaved my beard all the way off? It was like 6 Halloweens ago or something. I dressed up as Rick from Rick and Morty. Yeah, you got to put it on live chat. So I guess Goth has probably gone off to look for easier game to shoot at. I'm not sure. Neves Idik says I look like a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a mister. My father was Dr. Strauss. He got a PhD. Oh, good. I'm glad you're still here, God. I don't really feel like a bozo, but that's fine. I get that you're addressing me. Nathan Carl Almandares says you have a deep voice. People have observed that before, Nathan Carl Almandares, but I think it's kind of an interesting observation. I don't believe that I've always been noted to have a deep voice. Maybe it's gotten deeper over the years, I'm not sure. Goss says, how is it living with erectile dysfunction? I actually don't have erectile dysfunction. But, yeah. What you want to try to do, Goth, is avoid the bingo card. The bingo card is unoriginal shit people say all the time. You don't want to be on that bingo card. That just means you you aren't interesting at all. So think about that, Oh, it's fine, Nathan Carl Almandares. I appreciate when people like Goth come in and make their attempts at me. It's kind of fun, kind of interesting. It would be boring if there wasn't any clash at all. Everybody wants to try their hand at the fastest gun in the West, Hi, Matarazzi Sands. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning to you. And I hope things are treating you well in your country of, I believe, if I remember correctly, Serbia. So, I checked the Crunchyroll schedule this morning when I got up first. I'm doing okay. It's sleepy week. I'm not feeling especially enthused about everything. Finished my Adderall a couple days ago. But I'm also not feeling especially, I'm not feeling bad. I'm not even feeling like I wish I had Adderall, I'm just feeling like it's a regular day. It's a regular, uneventful day and not very much worth worth engaging in very much. I'll try to sleep as much as I can today. I feel pretty normal, really. It's kind of weird. I would expect to feel the impacts of changing from Adderall to no Adderall. I expect to feel the impacts of that a little bit more than I actually do. So now we're outside, where it is currently still snowing, ridiculously enough. See, we got about a foot of snow, maybe a little more last night. And it is currently snowing. You probably can't see that on the camera. It looks a lot more blue on the camera than it does in real life. It's more white in real life, you know. But it is pretty cold to be standing out here with no pants on, which I'm currently doing. I just have my boxers on. I do have a jacket. So quiet. That's what I love most about snow is the quiet. It's like I can barely hear the stream. The stream right now is pumping. The creek at the bottom of the gully there is pumping. I can barely hear it because of the snow. All the snowflakes just kind of absorb the sound, you know. Yeah, I'd call this a solid foot of snow. Looking on top of the wall there and stuff. Maybe more. You know, on top of the roof. You see we got a lot of snow. All the trees are all covered. And it's still falling. So, looks like we probably aren't getting out of the house today. We need to go to the store pretty badly, but we can make it another day. I'm definitely not going to be shoveling this driveway. Fuck that noise. I mean, it's April. It's got to warm up here pretty soon and melt all this snow. I knew we were supposed to get snow, but I did not anticipate this at all. It was like middle of the winter kind of snow. You know, even in the winter, sometimes we'll get a storm come through and it'll be rain. It's a little chilly out here. I wish I'd put on a hat or something. That's all right. I just kept this health too short, I think. Brr, motherfuckers, it's cold. Yeah, you're right. Good time. Um, that would be a smart choice is to get a snowplow for the buggy. Attach it to the front, but you know, maybe for next winter. I don't know. There's not something I'm gonna do right now. Cool Kids is here. Good. Are you good at hearing multiple things at once, like audio and video? Well, I would say that I can hear. If there's any kind of talking going on, if there are any words in the audio whatsoever, even if it's music, but less so if it's music, I guess. It's not necessarily if it's music, but if it's just words, just talking, I have a great deal of difficulty not hearing it and processing it. And if there are two streams of words going on concurrently, it it's like super super distress inducing for me. I and I also tend to read everything, like every single sign, every single everything. I have a video. It's three messages. I can decipher all three. You mean you can hear all three lines of talking at the same time, or you can isolate them. I mean, I might be able to isolate them if they're in different voices, listen to them each in succession. I certainly couldn't comprehend all three concurrently. I don't think anybody can do that. Um, it might seem like it if you know in advance what the three what the three lines of dialogue are. I guess you might be able to hear them all, but you can't listen to them all. You can't process or parse all the words in all of them concurrently. Nobody can do that. What's up with me today? Not a whole hell of a lot, Jonathan Carpenter. It's kind of an off day for me. I'm gonna be sleepy most of the day, and I was hopeful when I got up that there'd be some new cartoons out. Okay, well, comedy flu. I mean, in that case, what you're talking about is sort of like maybe speed reading, that you're kind of grasping a large concept all at one time, but it's not possible to parse like that. So you're only knowing, you're not deliberating at all, which means like if I listened to one of those conversations in full, assuming it was about anything with any depth whatsoever, and you listen to it holistically like that, you would not be able to answer all the questions about it like I would. So, um, Crystal Miller says when she worked at the Wendy's drive-thru, she could be talking to somebody that didn't have a headset on, listening to my headset in an order. Well, you can't say multiple things at one time, Comedy Flu. It's not possible. It's not physically possible to say multiple things at one time. That one, it doesn't matter what your cognition is, it's physically impossible to make more than one word at the same time with your mouth. So, like, the other thing that's super important to remember is that it matters a great deal what kind of talking it is. So, like, when you're flowing a debate round, well, I mean, if you're flowing a debate round, Comedy Flu, uh, there's zero possible chance that you could flow the debate round while listening to another thing and understanding it concurrently. So if everything's super surface, it's just a bunch of flash bits of dialogue back and forth, then it's conceivable that one could know adequately. But for anything with any depth, one must deliberate. So it wouldn't be possible for you to listen to me explain this, for example, in full. If I were to do so, I'm not going to explain it in full, but and concurrently hear and understand somebody else saying something because what I'm saying requires you to think about it. Asbestos, 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 asbestos. So like, no, I don't really like the band, but butthole surfers. William McLaren says, hello, brother. Good morning. Good morning. Would you consider Rachel a door slammer? Is that even a thing with INFJs? Really? Uh, I mean, yeah, she's slammed the door on plenty of people in her past. Um, but I'm not sure if that's an INFJ thing or not. Maybe it is, but I mean, the idea of it is that I guess that INFJs, once they know that someone's not good, then there's a difficulty with maintaining any kind of uncertainty, and so there's a finality to their action, you know. But back to the auditory processing thing for a moment. What what we teach kids to do in debate is something that nobody can do until and unless they practice it, no matter how good their audio processing is, which is have somebody be spreading, right? Like reading something as fast as they can, reading something complicated as fast as they can. And then the student has to write down all and only the relevant things, nutshelled as tightly as possible. So, you know, if your opponent is reading something very dense, it requires extremely intensive listening and also an ability to pull out from this big block of text going by at 100 to 200 words a minute, you know, or more sometimes. And you've got to be able to say, okay, the claim is this, which they're going to tag the claim anyway, so you can use that same tag. Then you got to listen for the actual warrant within the card, the actual impacts articulated within the card, and see if they match what the claim says on the tag of the person who's reading that card. So I understand understanding a little bit differently than most people do. It might be possible for a person to believe they understand multiple conversations at once, but from my perspective, there's nothing to be understood in those conversations, probably. It's just people exchanging banalities. There's no explanation going on. So it's trouble, trouble. Because people possess a limited amount of attentional resources, it is difficult to attend to multiple stimuli in the environment at once. Yeah, it is. It's not impossible, but there's always a sacrifice, right? You have a finite amount of attention to pay, and you're going to be paying it in certain ways. So, because I pay attention by deliberating as a tool function, I'm going to find it very difficult to engage any kind of language uh, while some other kind of language is going on. This happens all the time, even in the chat. I'm trying to respond to one thing, something new comes up, and I get distracted. I have no choice but but no, it's not like I have no choice. I just reflexively start responding to that. I forget where I was, etc. Because for me, understanding and processing language is not a knowing interface kind of thing. It's a action deliberation kind of thing. So I'm parsing what you're saying for its precise meaning, and I'm then responding to it with my own extroverted intuition. It's the most natural thing in the world for me, right? But it's also not consistent with the idea of trying to hear and understand multiple conversations at once. Uh, so I did want to respond to Boba Fett's question, which is like, he doesn't seem to be happy with the growth of the channel at all. He says, What is with these weird surges in viewers? We keep getting hit by a ton of randos. That's called not being suppressed, Boba Fett, is my opinion about it. You could just try to attribute it entirely to vertical live streaming and the addition of occasional bursts of viewers from the chat, which we do get, you know. Um, I think it probably has something to do with having been shadow suppressed before, though, because I suspect that prior to the shorts feed existing, that other live streamers were given more access to new viewers and therefore potentially to develop, getting new subs and stuff than I was. Uh, I'm not. I have to continue watching the stats and the analytics, the trends or whatever, in terms of results for me to see if this current burst of growth continues or not. I hope it does, but it's like every time I end up having like what you might call a slower stream in terms of viewers, I worry a little bit. Like, okay, well maybe the promotion of vertical live streaming has been retracted some, and I'm seeing, and accordingly, I'm seeing a diminishing result or whatever. I won't really ever feel confident that that's the case until I see an extended period of stagnation or relative stagnation compared against the current burst of growth. Go subscriber only when you stream. What do you mean by that? Oh, go subscriber only. No, of course not, Boba Fett. The whole reason, I mean, not the whole reason, but one of the important things that make streaming fun, interesting, and exciting to me is getting a lot of new people in, like getting new voices, dealing with trolls, etc. I certainly don't want to stagnate like that, just have subscriber only. That would be the worst possible thing to do. Yeah, today is a slow day. We started off with a good burst of people, and then those people went away, and then left with actual subs and such. Gabrielle Armstrong says, no, if he did, I wouldn't be here. It's a good point, Gabrielle Armstrong. The last thing I want to do is go subscriber only because I like the idea of getting some non-sub eyes on here, and even if they don't subscribe, maybe YouTube suggests it to them again. Maybe they come back. Maybe eventually they do sub. I don't really care that much if they sub. I appreciate people being around. It's a lot less fun talking on the internet when you're not really talking to anybody. Michelle, aka Nayika, is here again. I just call her Michelle. It's easier. She says, hello again, beautiful souls. Great to see you again. Winston's mom and Eric ready for the eclipse. I've forgotten that it hadn't happened yet. I thought it had already happened, but I guess not. I haven't been paying that much attention to it. Rachel wanted to get some glasses, some of the special glasses to look at it, but I'm not that excited about looking at the eclipse. Yeah, that one always trips me out, Comedy Clue. It seems like it definitely used to have that. I don't understand why anybody would remember that. Oh, we just had the lunar, it's now time for the solar. Okay, cool. You know, it's I think an even better question than that, Mrs. Mom, is does the eclipse link to does the eclipse how about this? Is the eclipse an omen? How about is the eclipse a sign? Hmm. Does the okay, how should I phrase this? This is a tricky one. What I want to say is like, does the eclipse have any magical shit going on, right? All right. I'm gonna put actually a sign. That's just gonna have to do. Wowzers, Eric. We need to bring you up to speed with all the state of emergencies already in place. I think it's going to be an interesting day. Well, my thoughts are about the eclipse that whatever is going on, it has absolutely nothing to do with the eclipse, unless what you're talking about is, say, a reduction in sunlight while the sun is eclipsed by the moon. Then yes, that can be attributed to a solar eclipse. Beyond that, I don't think the solar eclipse has anything to do with anything. It's just a random astrological event, astronomical event. I mean, the thing is, what I do note is that for many, many years, thousands of years at least, people have been all like, oh my God, the eclipse, end times are coming, repent. They've been saying that for thousands of years. It hasn't caused any end times yet. So, in that regard, obviously, I don't place a lot of weight in thoughts um, that the eclipse is a sign of something. We've had so many eclipses. I remember watching one when I was in grade school. Maybe they gave us special glasses or something. I don't remember, but I considered even titling this video something like "Is Christian evangelism evil?" Because it certainly starts to piss me off after a little while. What really pisses me off is I make clear to people that I self-identify as a Christian, that I pray, etc., and then I get all these people who still come in and basically tell me, "Well, you're not a real Christian." It's like, fuck you. Why are you doing this? What kind of insanity has are you suffering from that makes you think this is a good idea? The only symbolism takeaway for it is to appreciate the sun while it's around. Well, I mean, it's not going anywhere here. I think we've got quite a while so the sun goes away. You know, it's definitely not going to go anywhere in our lifetime. I don't think. If if we were to experience, say, mass extinction of humans, um, mass extinction including humans, but either all of us dead or most of us dead, it would come from one of a few possible places. Either a meteor or asteroid or whatever hits Earth that's big enough to kill everything, or global nuclear war, uh, some sort of biological weapon, um, gets loose, runs amok, kills everybody. Uh, could be, I guess, in theory, chemical weapons. Could be some kind of global environmental collapse due to pollution, stresses on the environment, climate change, whatever. But that's unlikely to kill all the humans. Yeah, it's super annoying. No, I don't think JC's trolling Winston's mom. I think he sees me smoking pot or whatever and says, "You can't be a real Christian and do drugs." Just because he's an asswipe, you know? It's annoying. It's like, um, they give Christians a bad name, right? They give Christians a bad name. That's the best way to put it. Uh, Nobody wants to be preached at like that. Nobody wants to be told that you need to believe as I believe, and then you'll be okay. But you're not okay right now because you don't Christian exactly the same way I do. Like, what a fucking asswipe. How horrible is that? And no, he was not trolling. There's a lot of genuinely evangelistic Christians out there, you know, and um, they understand Christianity as exactly as they express it, and you know, they see me as not a real Christian. So anyway, I understandably shame and subject them to withering critique when I encounter it because that's what got Bobby banned, actually. I was shamed for smoking and reading the Bible before. Yeah, well, Gabrielle Armstrong. I don't like that kind of behavior from supposed Christians. I think it's very unchristian of them, right? Like to to uh, to direct their evangelism towards somebody who's already a Christian on the grounds that they're not Christianing correctly. It's just horrible. And they give Christians that bad name. Best apocalypse ever. You mean the Amish? Here, Liam? Talking about the Amish? Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I shame them when they start shaming me. I shame them back. So I don't think shaming's inherently wrong, but you just have to shame people who are doing shameful things, right? Like, I'm not bothering anybody else when I'm smoking. I'm not encouraging others to smoke or whatever. So just leave me alone. If you don't, then you deserve to be shamed for your bad behavior. And I'm going to. Are you talking about the Quakers, the Shakers? Um, I'm not sure what else it could possibly be. Either the Quakers or the Shakers, or who were the people who burned the witches? Was that the Quakers? I'm not sure. But I am sure of this. Quaker oats persist today as a sign of the most Christian oatmeal of all. Calvinists? Yeah, that's a good choice there. Calvinists, um, Is there anybody else we can think of? Just the pilgrims, you know. The pilgrims kind of dressed like that. So they were wearing gray. Puritans. There you go, Hero Lamb. I was trying to think of that one and it didn't come up to me. Falling short is human, correcting our mistakes is the whole path of enlightenment. I agree, Gabrielle Armstrong. You know, everybody's on their own spiritual path. Some people consciously, actively, some people unconsciously, kind of, I guess, slave to their reflexes or something. Why couldn't I think of Puritans? What is wrong with me? Definitely Puritans. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. Trump is not Christ in the flesh. However, he has the crown of Jerusalem, I suspect. Feast 5-3 is right around the corner if they sacrifice the red heifer. Who's the red heifer? I'm assuming the red heifer is a metaphor or something, right? They're not going to actually kill a red cow. Oh, that's like Jehovah's Witnesses. I think Boba Fett to do that. That don't go to the doctor because God will cure them. I mean, is it a specific red cow? are there are there few? Or I mean, I guess it depends what you consider red, right? Hi there, Allie Allie. How's it going? Mr. Trump is selling $60 Bibles now. He's going to have to sell one heck of a lot of those to even begin to pay down his debt. Yeah, he got a lot of judgments against him, huh? What were those judgments for exactly? Like, why did they? What did he have to pay for? Who's they? Who's this they that has four heifers waiting for the sacrifice? Is it some sort of cattle farmer? I'm curious. I mean, it seems really odd that you take literally this biblical story of sacrificing a red cow causing or being a sign of the apocalypse or something. If you consider, I guess, reddish brown red, then probably tons of red cows are killed every day. If you consider red like cherry apple red, well, I've never seen such a cow before. The red heifer itself prophetically points to Jesus the Messiah and his death on the execution stake. I see. Who, the witnesses? Oh, okay, thanks. So yeah, I don't the thing about this whole end time stuff, I get it that the world is kind of chaotic now. Uh that we're facing that the West and civil society in general is facing substantial threats from like Russia and China and so forth. And that environmentally, the world is bending under the weight of so many human beings engaged in so much environment changing activity, you know? That last bit is a new problem. And it is the case that our current population reality is a new problem. But in terms of like war, peace kind of stuff, the world's actually about as peaceful as it's ever been. It may not seem that way because you maybe read a lot of stories about conflict and such, but it's actually about as peaceful as it's ever been. You know, it felt a lot, the end of the world felt a lot more imminent when I was young uh, and was, and the U.S. and Russia were in a Cold War. There was this constant nuclear buildup. There's frequent references to the nuclear midnight clock or whatever. I remember feeling very scared about nuclear war when I was 12 or 13. It like continually bothered me. It was keeping me up at night or whatever. And I told my mom about how it was bothering me. And she said, well, you have to remember that if there's nuclear war, you might die, but so will everyone else. And I was like, oh, well, that makes me feel a lot better, actually. And it didn't worry me after that. Strange, huh? Strange thing to find reassuring. Wow. Still snowing. Still snowing up a storm out there. Let's figure out the window. I have to do this. That's fine. Oh, meow, meow. I don't know if you can see the snow falling or not, but it is falling out there. But you know what would be better probably? Let me do this. So you don't have to look through the screen. There. It might be a little better. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, in a Christmassy way. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Snow is falling, watch it falling in a Christmassy style. And meow, 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 meow. Christmas time, snow will fall. You can watch it at the window. It's funny, it's actually easier to see the snowflakes looking through the screen for some reason. At least for me. Maybe for you as well, I'm not sure. It's a lot easier to see them through the screen. But I tell you where it'll be even easier to see them. Let's go take a look. Let's go take a look outside. Where it's Christmas time. Holy moly. Look at all that snow. Look at it piling all up on the deck. Wowza. That's a lot of snow. There. You can look out there for a second while I finish this health tube. I don't want to get it too cold on my little seedlings here. It just keeps on falling. This is like the heaviest snow we've gotten all winter. I think it's fair to say this is the heaviest snowfall we've gotten all winter. And this is this storm right here. in April. How crazy. Well, obviously we're not going anywhere today. And I don't feel like putting the chains on. I'm not definitely not shoveling the driveway. And we definitely cannot get out right now if I don't do one of those two things. Falling off the tree. Probably a ghost pushed it. I prefer paranormal explanations for normal things. Sure, you could say I locked the door, but I prefer to think that a ghost did. Let's see. Dang autocorrect. Lumafau, 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 lumafau. I'm not gonna sit in one of those chairs. uh, Proud American, yeah. It goes up and down, jumps up and down. Right now it's like 26. I saw that it was quite a few people for a little while. And the Temple Institute has been working to breed a sacrificial cow for years after importing red Angus cows from Nebraska. The most recent calf is not the first birth that has been announced with great excitement. And several have also been shipped in from the U.S., where evangelical Christian farmers support the Jewish efforts to what? To cause the apocalypse by killing a cow? That is very silly. Never carry passengers in the cargo bed. That little sign says. Hi, John Whitting. I'm in California, in Mariposa County, California, which is the county where Yosemite is. I'm not very high up. We're only at 4,000 feet. It's I mean, it's not really to be expected. We'd be getting so much snow in April. I wouldn't imagine. This is only our second winter living here. I don't have a lot of years of experience with this place to know how things normally go. But what a beautiful spring day in your yard, yeah. Well, obviously I got my seedlings in here because I can't have them outside or they'll definitely die, you know, with all the snow and stuff. I brought them in just the right time, fortunately. And a little later that evening, it started hailing super hard. I would have killed them too, I'm sure. So they're gonna just have to tough it out inside the garage for a couple of days, I guess. Yeah. I could move them in the laundry room where there's maybe a little bit more lights to use, but obviously I plan to use the sun to grow them. I'm not growing them under lights. I just didn't expect the spring to like say, never mind. They'll be fine. I'll tough it out here in the garage for a couple of days. We've got these fluorescent lights in here, plus to get a little natural light from the windows, so they'll be okay. And once it gets sunny, even if there's still snow on the ground, I could push them outside on this cart and keep them above the snow. If I could scoop out a little spot to put them, you know. Okay, Charlie Art stuff. I will respond to your comment. Is that it? Is that the comment you want me to respond to? Or is there one earlier that I missed? No, Boba Fett. I'm not going to endorse it. People don't understand how expensive it is to do, how unnecessary it is, and your electricity bill gets outrageous if you have good lights. You don't want to do that. Let's see what Simple Girl said. Good morning. Pretty sure each and every one is entitled to their own opinions. Yep, people are entitled to their own opinions. Duty calls for Gabrielle. See you later, Gabrielle. Have a good day. In Ohio, plows remain on trucks until May. Yeah, well, the snow plows came by and plowed the roads last night. Probably will again this morning. They're pretty reliable about that here in Mariposa. We got pretty good county services and stuff, And one of the nice things is because it's so low density population here, I've never walked into any of the county offices to do anything and had there be any kind of line. It's like they just don't have enough people, property owners and stuff in the county for it to get very crowded. Very different from LA County. And also, there's only county to deal with. There's no city because there are no municipalities in Mariposa. Oh, yes. So I'll show you exactly why I'm not going anywhere today. Take a look at the car situation here. Nope, I'm not going anywhere today. I have to get all the way up there to get to the road, which I'm sure is plowed. But it also means that there's a bunch of like snow plow leavings right at the top of the driveway. So I am not going anywhere today. Good morning, big dog mofo. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere today. I'm gonna just stay here, nap, watch the cat eat. Oh yes, what a very good kitty you are. What an important friend. What a valued member of the family. Yes, you. Yes, I'm talking about you, Trouble. From what I understand, you were voted Kitty of the Year 6 years ago. I also hear the vote was rigged. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. What a good eater. Oh, swishy tail. Swishing back and forth. Yeah, he's a real Captain Swishy Tail, huh? I guess he's done. I guess he's done. That's good. Well, I mean, what aesthetics do you want to see changed? Like, I'm walking around showing, living my life. So it's like, if it doesn't look nice in the background, well, I mean, it just means maybe the kitchen's dirty or something. I don't know. I can't think about that kind of thing, obviously. That would be just, I don't even know. It would just, I can't even imagine thinking about that all the time. Let's see if any cartoons have come out. Doubt it. They're still showing Spy Family thing. Oh, actually, something did come out. I'm not very interested, I don't think, in John Animation 2, Episode 1. Looks like, well, who knows? You can never tell from just the picture and the title. Astronaut Episode 1 came out at 7. So there are a couple of things to check out, possibly. I never watched A Salad Bowl of Eccentrics yesterday. Episode 1 came out. I'm not sure what it's about. I think it got 4.6, if I remember correctly. So it might be worth checking out. So far, I have not been super impressed with anything. I enjoyed. I mean, the best ones have already been regarding Monster. Recoiling Monster. That was very good, and I'm excited for that show. Archdemon's Dilemma: How to Love Your Elf Bride was pretty good. Pretty good to very good. I never finished Windbreaker, but it looks kind of promising. I need to finish that episode. It's like a juvenile delinquent fighting cartoon, right? Which isn't really my favorite, but oh, you guys are talking about that kind of aesthetics. Well, no, I'm not streaming horizontally, Boba Fett. Streaming vertically gets you a lot more eyes on your thing. And the thing is, the other thing to note is I have really no choice but to stream on my phone because I'm streaming vertically. I don't even know how to do it from the computer. Um, yeah, that's all that snow is. And it's still coming down. So we're not done with snow yet. I do have a monitor over there, you know. But only if I'm sitting in here. Only if I'm sitting in here. And I'm only sometimes sitting here. Good morning, Albert Grossman. There you go, Albert. There you go. I'm tired. I'm not feeling very enthusiastic about anything. It's a good day to have a sleepy day. You know, I'm gonna pull a couple bong rips and no, I can't shift midstream at all. I have to choose that before I start. I got a pimple right here on this bone. It's super annoying. I try to keep the back of my ears clean. I try to wash them a lot, you know. What's all that about? You have a nice big bowl of chili soon? A slice of ice cream cake. Ice cream cake sounds good. Chili sounds good too. But I'm probably not going to eat till after I nap again. Try to catch up on all this sleep that I've lost, you know. My opinion, the thing about sleep is, I think it's weird that it's this way. Because, like, when I was young, I didn't assume it was this way. I figured, you know, lost sleep is lost sleep, you know. If I only get 6 hours one night, well then, I'm just That night I didn't get as much sleep. Next night I get 8 hours is fine. My body doesn't somehow keep track of the missing 2 hours. It does keep track of it, for sure. You've got to get your full amount of sleep at some point. So, uh, I won't feel entirely like myself until I've gotten back all the sleep I lost while I was on Adderall for 2 weeks. But, sometimes your body can kind of surprise you. Like, even though I know I'm running a big sleep deficit right now, and I need and want to, yeah, I agree with you, Winston's mom. But sometimes having that sleep deficit impacts me emotionally more than other times, right? Currently, I don't feel particularly impacted emotionally by it. I feel pretty chill. Just like I'll just watch a cartoon or two, go back to bed. Probably get then again when Rachel gets up, maybe make something for lunch. See what else is on TV. Maybe stream another hour or so. We're at an hour right now. Yeah, this is gonna be the week of miniature streams. When I'm on Adderall, I can go for like 8 hours, no problem. But even when if I were fully slept up and not on Adderall, I could probably go for multiple hours. But in my current state, I don't expect streams to be a whole hell of a lot longer than this. So anyway, the gist of it is I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm going to watch little cartoons, go back to sleep. I'll see you later this afternoon for another short stream if you're around. Have a great day. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.